Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Claudia ALBERS, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one is entitled The Effect of the Planet X System on the Earth. Now the Planet X system is a system of dead stars and planets which moves from star system to star system, absorbing all the energy available in these systems and thus destroying them. Once all the energy has been drained by the Planet X system from a living star system, all the members of this system will be dead or energy depleted. This means that all the stars and planets of the once living system would have become stellar cores. The Planet X system is thus ever growing in size. And you may look at Article 244 entitled Planet X System, Destroyer of Star Systems for more details. And here we see one of these stellar cores in the Sun's corona. This is one of the Planet X system objects. And these objects absorb energy from living celestial objects, that is, objects that are still generating energy in their core. So these stellar cores are in the Sun's corona, they're absorbing energy from the Sun. And as you can see, it's clearly a spherical object. We can see that it's striped. We can see that the stripes follow the contour of the object. That's why they are curved, because they are a spherical object. And we can usually see these stellar cores in sun-observing satellite images. And here we see another one. This one is about 4 times the size of the Earth, so it's very small compared with some other objects. This one, for example, is about half the size of the Sun. The size of the Sun is indicated by the black circle, and this is about half of that. So this is a huge object. It would be 5 times the size of Jupiter.
Hello, this is Alex Young from NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center and the Sun Today. An interesting video was posted yesterday by Sun's Flare on YouTube, and it came to my attention on the Sun Today Facebook page. Breaking Unidentified Object Sun. This is from March 11, 2012. And what he was posting is a video showing this spherical object on the lower left or southeast limb of the Sun, and there's also this little string-like object connected to it. And he was asking what this was, something he'd never seen before. And in this case, you can actually see there is an eruption that happens right here. And what I'm going to show you later is that this whole object here, this spherical object and this long string, actually erupt later on. But this particular object is really very common on the Sun. This is what's called part of what's called a coronal cavity. So filaments, when you see them on the solar disk in certain wavelengths, appear dark because they're cooler material in relation to what's in the background. When you look at them on the edge of the Sun, then they're brighter. We call these prominences, but they're the same object. And they sit in this kind of tunnel called a filament channel. So when you look at it from the edge of the Sun, what you actually see is this spherical object. You're actually looking down the tunnel, and this tunnel sits up top of the filament. And if we look at some other examples, they're quite common. Here's an example. If we go from one wave to the other, you can see the filament, and then there's this very faint structure. And there are lots of examples of these from SDO. So they're quite common. Here is the filament we were talking about, looking from the edge with stereo, so looking around the side of the Sun. And then when we look back on the disk, you see there's the spherical object, and then there's a larger shell. Okay, this is the whole coronal cavity, and then what he was seeing was part of the top of it. We can look at a video which shows this structure in 2 different wavelengths, 171, which is the predominant structure that he was seeing, and then there's also 304, which shows the filament. And here we're seeing the whole structure erupt. So what's kind of interesting about this is that when these are quite common before CME eruptions, and seeing it really high up in the corona is also a possible indication that it's about to erupt. So when the CME actually erupts, as we'll see in this video, the whole structure comes out and you can actually see this cavity as it's moving out. So at the very edge, there's the cavity, and then we see the filament itself, okay, the filament material. So this is a pretty cool event, and there's a lot of interesting structure, but this is very, very common for the corona. So we're excited that Sun's Flare pointed this out, and we were able to discuss it and talk about it, because it's one of the many exciting things that we can see on the sun, and one of the many aspects that's really been highlighted by all the fantastic data from SDO. So thank you very much, and thanks to all the different observatories and agencies that provide the data, in particular HelioViewer and JHelioViewer, and as well as our designer, Virtual Linda, and special thanks to Sun's Flare for pointing this out for us.
And here we see one of the stellar cores that is attached to the Earth and is drawing energy from the Earth. You can see there's a gaseous atmosphere around it from which it's emitting light, and you can see a long line here. It's obviously a connection that it's making with the Earth's atmosphere, and the fact that it's so bright means that there's light emission and ionization, and therefore an energy transformation going on here, because it's absorbing energy from the Earth, which then allows it to emit light.
Oi, 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 oi.